Etsy. What a complicated relationship I have with this website. I mean, the fact that I even have a relationship with this website in the first place is complicated enough. Never has a business disappointed me so much in my life. And today we're going to talk about it. Pause for intro. So I suppose the best place to start is the end of the story. I got banned from Etsy, and I'm not the first one to have this happen to them. And it's very frustrating. So if you don't know what Etsy is, you're probably in the wrong place. So I'm not going to condescend to my beautiful watchers, which is you. And I'm just going to tell you what happened. So back in 2021, in fact, for as long as Etsy has existed and as long as I've been a pro artist, I've been working with Etsy in some capacity. The first third-party website I went onto was Redbubble, and I found I started getting a lot of copyright marks on my work because I was doing fan art at the time, doing comic book conventions. So I sort of started to move towards, I had this idea for commissions. I thought, well, there's a market for low yielding, easy access, custom fan art that's not really being covered anywhere I could really see other than conventions, anywhere online for those who couldn't access conventions or couldn't access artists in their own country. So I went to Etsy and I started selling custom commissions with things like Power Rangers. Swap the head out. Send me a photo. I'll draw you. You can choose the pose. No harm, no foul. Everyone's happy. Beautiful Christmas present for the fan in your life. I started doing the same with Star Wars commissions. Jedi families. So that then slowly over the years spanned out to wrestling commissions as well. And now at this point, I've got a series of different custom commissions in this formula. And I had been doing this for about 2 to 3 years. So from Christmas of 2020 was the first time I really put this out there until Christmas of 2022, 2023. It was one of the most reliable elements of my business. Every single year I could rely on my Christmas bills and Christmas gifts and so on covered by these commissions, especially as the years went on, because it was only exponentially growing there. I was having so much success. Every year I could rely upon from about October onwards, people were starting to commission Christmas gifts, and I was pretty much doing Christmas commissions all the way up until Christmas Eve every year. The next year there was 10, to a point where, there was roughly about 10 a year, if not more, 10 to 15, maybe 20 for Christmas. Depending on how much time I had and how early people got in. I was doing a lot of these commissions from October till about this time of year, February, every year. February, even March in some instances. That was one of the most successful elements of my business to date. I think it was because it was low yield, it was low entry. On my Etsy website, I had a lot of my own Jordan T. Mystic merchandise, and I had a lot of fan art posters that were like digital posters you could buy, which is what a lot of my other co-artists, friends in the business, have been doing over the years as well. And this is why I'm not sure what to do anymore about Etsy. I think they kind of made the decision for me. So if it was going so successful, it begs the question, what happened? Well, come close and I'll tell you. You see, in Christmas of 2023, I had commissions like always. A couple of Power Rangers, a couple of Star Wars commissions. So I do a commission, wrestling commission, for a lady who wanted it for her cousin, brother, uncle, I'm not sure. I receive a message from her 3 days before Christmas. She's very frustrated and frankly quite rude. Now, this is nothing I haven't dealt with before. You find a lot of people in this line of work need educating on how the process works and how my specific process works. I make sure to put in the descriptions of all of these listings. So this lady has messaged me and something to the effect of, I have gone on your website, I have also looked at the descriptions in your listings. It has now been 2 weeks because I listed that it takes up to 2 weeks to get the commissions done. However, this can change around Christmas because it's Christmas time. And not only am I wrapping up business everywhere else for the year, I'm also wrapping up a lot of presents. I have gifts to purchase. Christmas is stressful on top of all these commissions to do. She was second in line. Her commission was completed at this point and was sent to her as well. The email just bounced back for some reason. I send a digital file in the email that is provided. So, what's this got to do with me getting banned? Shadow banned or suspended or whatever they want to call it. I don't really give a shit. Well, because this lady didn't get a response immediately, I think the day before this message that she sent me, she's filed a refund complaint with Etsy. Now, mind you, she's at this point received the email. I've triple sent this email and this file. So she's received her services and her product. It's completed and in her hands. She proceeds to complain to Etsy, file a refund complaint after she's received the files, mind you. And Etsy just goes, yeah, sure, no worries. We'll refund you and we'll charge the guy you bought it off. A la yours truly. Mind you, this was a $100, maybe $200 commission, and Etsy wants me to pay the refund in full. Oh, hello. A little bug just flew onto my microphone. All right, bro, now you're just being cocky. May I complete what I'm doing? All right, you can stay there, I suppose. Just maybe not on the mic. Come on, bro. So Etsy proceeds to not only charge me with the refund, but because it's now about the 23rd, 24th of December, I'm not paying this refund. I'm contacting this woman and telling her she needs to pay me back for the services because she got a free commission. So I refuse to pay the refund. I contact Etsy, I tell them what's happening. They say, sorry, we can't do anything about it. You're going to have to contact the customer. If you can't see by now, my eye is twitching something fierce telling this story because what happened next affected my business for a good year. And I didn't want to say anything until I saw others having a similar problem. Now, I hope it's known that I'm not trying to follow a trend here or anything, but I'm actually speaking up because of the story I had with this website, and I don't want others to go through what I've gone through and what friends of mine have gone through and other artists in this industry I'm sure have gone through at this point because I've seen their complaints online. I've seen the social media comments. So yeah, so what happened next is why I'm here. So because I proceed to refuse to pay the refund, I think any self-respecting business owner would do so in this situation. Considering the services have been rendered, the product has been handed over, and the trade has been made. This is why I'm here talking about Etsy. I have no need to put this client's name out in public. She has responsibility in this situation. However, Etsy has done far worse. So what happened was, because I refused to pay the refund, Christmas went by, I get to the end of December and I get a notice saying my account is suspended. Okay, because I have yet to pay the refund. Mind you, this is somewhere between $100 and $200 worth of work. Maybe not a lot to most, but to me, it's Christmas money that I lost. So I don't pay the refund, they suspend my account, and I leave it for a bit just to see what will happen. Christmas of 2024 rolls around, and guess whose account's still suspended? At this point, I've not really dealt with this problem at all in 2024, other than around January, February, when trying to dispute it. I get given an opportunity to kind of dispute it in a form, but the form has no option for me to say what really happened and the complexity of the circumstances. So how am I supposed to help the situation there? How does that help me to dispute Etsy's claims? I could be wrong. They could have changed it by now. I mean, I am more than willing to take responsibility when I'm wrong, but this was what I saw and what was there at the time and at the dates that I'm giving you, the rough dates. So we're at Christmas of 2024 and that's it. They've suspended this account. The account's been banned, it's been shadow banned, it's been shut down, it's whatever, and there's no option to open it up again. An account that I worked almost 4 or 5 years on, and it was the first income stream that not only was successful, but helped people. People were so happy with the custom commissions I did. So 2024 rolls around and no one gets any Christmas commissions. None. And then 2025 rolls around and I start seeing more and more videos about how Etsy is banning and suspending everybody. But I just kicked an animal underneath the chair. There's a pole. So what the fuck do we do? Because places like Etsy need to exist for this creative industry to stay alive. Especially online. Places like Etsy and Patron were places for all of us to sell our wares despite having some giant name. It was the one place where the work that you can create was valued, so to speak. In hindsight, not so much. But at the time, when we began with Etsy, it was the one place where crafters were valued, where anyone could have a side hustle selling whatever they made, and makers didn't have to have a big name, didn't have to have a brand to make what they loved making and make money from it. It was an online craft market. They didn't have to pay huge fees. The barrier for entry was low and it began so many professional artists' careers. But just like anything, everything that's good does not necessarily always last, especially in the state of commerce that we're in right now. I'm not here to talk about how the financial crisis affected us all. I'm not here to talk about how little or how much money I make or anybody else makes. I'm here to talk about what happened to me with Etsy, because I'm now seeing I'm not alone. I wish I'd have spoken up earlier, but I didn't. It took me a little. I'm not here to be a victim. I'm just here because I want to point out to people and point out to my audience, because I have a lot of young aspiring artists who want to be professionals one day, and I don't want you guys making the same mistakes. I don't want you making the mistake of going to Etsy anymore. It's not worth it. There is way too many other options. If you're in the States, go nuts. Sell your shit on Amazon. Please make your money from your art. I'm just really disappointed in Etsy and the way that it ended, because I don't want to go back to Etsy, which means it's probably about time for me to really start pushing Patreon and start pushing my website. My website has no middleman, no listing fees, just simple website fees. Etsy, I hope you're hearing this, because this letter is written and addressed to you. I wish things didn't have to end so sadly. This is just another opportunity for another endeavor. More space, more room to evolve and change. So thank you, Etsy, for everything you've done for my business. I have no more to say about Etsy and the banning, other than I certainly hope that business doesn't shut down and that website doesn't go kaput, because there's plenty of people out there who are making their money and running their lives off Etsy. I just want to tell you guys my story so that you can make your mind up and your opinions. Be careful, because the hard truth I've learned is commerce is commerce, business is business. Don't take it personally, just be careful, because these businesses do not care about you as a person. They may be in the creative industry, but they do not care. They only care about your money. I was going to come here and talk about their fees and the prices and all the facts as to why I'm moving away from Etsy, but the fact of the matter is they disappointed me and they just did bad business. I'm all for prioritizing customers, but when customers are wrong and your partnering business or your manager or whoever is making the decisions says to you the customer is right and always right, start to make plans to part ways. Some of the best advice I was ever given, so I'm passing it on to you. But that is enough about my story. I didn't want this to be a serious video, I just wanted you to know the facts. And thank you for watching this video, ladies and gentlemen. I have been your host, Jordan T. Mystic. Check out my website for my commission listings in the description below. That's where I'll be listing my commissions from now. If you want a custom commission, like and inscribe. I've been your host, Jordan T. Mystic. Don't forget, stay weird. And I'll see you on the next one. 2025's got a lot coming. It's big, ladies and gentlemen, it's big. Alright, have a week. I love ya.